This problem tells us that Marcus spent $4.75 to wash his car. If 1/4 operates the car wash for 60 seconds, how long did it take him to wash his car? That's the question. So this is another proportion problem, and we can use a proportion table to set it up. What are we comparing here? Marcus spent $4.75 to wash his car. 1/4 operates the car wash for 60 seconds. So 1/4 and 60 seconds. Here what we're comparing is money and time. So on the left-hand side of our proportion table, we can write down these two different elements. We have money and 60 seconds. Let's change that into minutes, because 60 seconds, if we're multiplying with 60, it's going to be a lot bigger than using 1 minute. It's going to be simpler. Now, what are the two different elements we put at the top? Ratio, because we're comparing money and minutes. And then it asks us how long did it take him to wash his car. So we're going to need to find a number. So that's going to be in the second column. So since this is a special kind of a proportion problem, it's a rate problem. We're comparing money and minutes. We want to put down the rate and see if we can find out what the unit rate is. It says 1/4 operates the car wash for 60 seconds. So 1/4, the money is going to be 25 hundredths, 1/4, and that's for 1 minute. So we already have a unit rate. We already have 25 cents for 1 minute. Again, unit, if you remember, stands for 1. So what do we need to find? We're given $4.75. That's how much he spent, and we want to find out how long it is, how long it took. How long did that $4.75 buy him of soap and water and the scrubbing materials at the car wash? We can use our proportion table now to set up our proportion. 25 hundredths over 1 equals 4 and 75 hundredths over x. And we can use cross multiplication to solve this. Again, having the unit rate, something over 1, makes things pretty easy. We're going to have 1 times 4 and 75 hundredths divided by 25 hundredths. So any number times 1 is going to be that number, 4 and 75 hundredths. And then we can take and divide 4 and 75 hundredths by 25 hundredths. Now, this problem gives us a specific kind of a challenge that we haven't talked about much recently, which is this. Here, the divisor is a decimal. And we need to change that before we can go ahead and do the division. So we want to take and move over 2 decimal places the number in the divisor. Now we have to do the same thing with the number that is the dividend, the number inside, so that we have an equivalency, the same inside and out. If we're going to change this number on the outside, the divisor, we need to change the dividend, the number on the inside, in the same way. And now we can go ahead and divide. Now we're dividing 475 by 25. And that's something that we know how to do. 25 goes into 47 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. We do our subtraction. We have 22. And we can bring down the 5 next to it. 25 goes into 225 9 times. 9 times 25 is 225. And we can subtract that. We have 0. So the answer to our problem using cross multiplication is 19 minutes. Marcus, in using $4.75, was able to get 19 minutes of this car wash machine to wash his car. If you did solve this using seconds, you'd have a larger number. You would have 1,140 seconds, but that would also be a correct answer to this problem as well if you solved it using seconds. When you feel comfortable with this problem, go ahead and try the practice problem that has been grouped with this problem on the homework quiz for this week.